assault forward and actually getting a really good commanders over here for the defense. There is the Marv for Dutch Army. Dutch Army also continuing assault into the south, into the southern. Welcome to Kane's Wrath. I'm your host, Korak, and today's map is Arizona Sunshine. We are on patch R22, Foxtrot. Starts off in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, wearing the orange and yellow robes, sporting the Zocom gloves. We have Dune Tiger. Joined today by Bart Jones. Their opponents for the moment's in the top right-hand corner of the map, wearing the pink and red robes, sporting the Nod and GDI gloves. We have Svensson and Dutch Army. All fighters ready? Begin! I am finally back. I collected everybody's favorite virus, and it took me down much further than I expected. So this is the first time I've been able to make it back to my PC. Hopefully my voice doesn't sound too gravelly or too messed up in this. You guys can let me know how I sound. I think I'm pretty much better. And so I've decided to start doing some casting. I figured casting when I had everyone's favorite virus probably wasn't the best idea, unless you just wanted to laugh at me, which then I guess it could be funny. The scouting has begun. It looks like Dune Tiger is taking the center of the map, taking out a couple of the scouts. Actually, looks like his opponent, Bart Jones, has also moved into the center point of the map. They're already starting off by eliminating their opponent's scouts and controlling that center area. That's going to be very good. They especially want to try to get something in on the Nod faction, because Nod is typically the more sneaky one. We do get our first bike out, and it's going to be able to get its scout all the way into their opponent's base. Not much is going to be able to stop it. It can eventually get taken down, but nothing real major as of right now. Oh, there it is. We do get the scout. We do get the pillbox inside of Svensson and Dutch Army's base. Team on the bottom left-hand corner doing a very good job with their scouting and starting to be extremely annoying. It looks like Svensson has started his expansion into the south, while Dune Tiger and Bart Jones have expended their expansion into the north. Looks like shortly followed by Dutch Army not too much further behind them. There's a little bit of blue Tiberium on this map in 3 locations, actually. We've got it on each corner of the map and in the center, so there's a lot for them to contest for, and the natural path of movement does kind of like push everyone into that. We get our first set of pit bulls moving into their opponent's base, moving into Dutch Army's base, and I'm not sure there's an answer quite yet. There's a couple of bikes, but they are not quite here yet. They might actually be able to get a full harvester. That would be extremely devastating this early on in the game. It is already at half HP. Here is a little bit of a response, but it may still be worth it to take out that harvester. But no, they do not decide to go for it. Instead, they just take loss after loss as they get out of here, only losing 1 pit bull, but that harvester with full Tiberium was able to make its way out. While although it was not taken out, it was delayed on its harvesting, on its deployment of that. But that's not done. We're not done here with the pit bulls over here in the southern expansion. However, Seven Sun is not taking this line down. He's moving in on his opponent's, on Dune Tiger's harvesters, going tit for tat, taking what he can over there. More pit bulls moving into the south, trying to get what they can, but they're not going to be able to do it. The forces are here for Dutch Army's defense. Dutch Army is just a little bit too thick in that defense, and it looks like at least 1, maybe 2 harvesters went down for Dune Tiger in his natural expansion. Svensson doing a very good job with the harassment there. We have Pitbull versus Pitbull over here in the south, and it looks like the victor is going to be Dutch Army here. He has just too many Pitbulls, and he has that defender's advantage as well as the reinforcements here in there. Bart Jones does have a good little bit of scouting here that'll be a little bit hard to delodge, but it won't be anything too major. A little bit of scouting still inside the base of Svensson not caring what is stuck inside his base. He's just going to repair and ignore that. However, 1 Pitbull does finally make its way over here. Maybe he's going to take out that pillbox. They're going to start picking on it right now. There it is. It's going to get taken down. They do not want that surveillance inside their base anymore. Bart Jones looking a little bit anemic on the forces after losing his pit bulls, after losing, I think 4 or 5 pit bulls over in the south. And if he's not careful here, he's actually going to get caught in a really bad position, because here comes a whole bunch of bikes from Svensson. Svensson doing a very good job of pushing these pit bulls back, taking one down almost, I think, for free. I don't think they lost anything right there, taking out a second of their pit bull. This is not looking great for Bart Jones. This minor skirmish so far is going for Svensson, and there's another set of pit bulls by Dutch Army over here moving into the south, continuing the harassment, trying to aid a little bit of this assault that Svensson is doing over here. However, it is going to get scouted, and this is still a large number of pit bulls. It looks like Bart Jones is just a little bit down on the pit bulls, and I think the answer to all of the bike and buggy for Doom Tiger is going to be these tanks, and that's not a bad option. And actually, one of these pit bulls is going to get caught in a really bad position. However, they are going to see what is coming. They are going to see all of these forces coming. Here, there is the decoy army. They're going to be able to suck up some of the assault. Looks like Svensson is going to try and make a play here, try and get some kills here. If he can get a harvester or two, that'll be really great. This might be an all-in for him when it comes to these forces, because I don't think these forces can get out whatsoever. This is actually going to be a pretty critical mistake. Dutch Army and Bart Jones are just absolutely on top of this, eliminating all of the forces of Svensson. He is not out of this fight. However, that is going to be a quite mighty blow. Dutch Army trying to move in and make up for some of that, but he's just not there quite fast enough. They either didn't coordinate that, or they thought they were going to be able to get away with a lot more than they were able to. However, right now it looks like the balance of power has switched over onto the left-hand side of the map. Losing all of those forces is going to bite Svensson in the butt, especially early on. It'll matter a little bit less when it comes to the transition in mid, but still, they lost almost all of their forces basically for free. Another bike gets taken down in the north. A couple more bikes are picking on a harvester, a blue Tiberium harvester over here, but they're not going to take that lying down. We have a whole bunch of Predator tanks for Bart Jones moving over there in the south, and a small skirmish in the center of the map over the blue Tiberium. This is still a quite staggering amount of pit bulls over here by Dutch Army. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to take out all of the Predator tanks, but if his concave is there, if his micro is there, he can probably get some work done. I think that is the sound of either a Marv or a Redeemer up. Actually, there is the Redeemer facility is over halfway done. If Svensson can get that out, that'll be super great for him. Sonic emitters over here for the defense. There is the Marv for Dutch Army. Dutch Army also continuing assault into the south, into the southern expansion, or into the old main base of their opponents while this assault is continuing. However, this Marv is almost completely isolated. He needs some support. Svensson really needed to come down and aid this Marv. There is a Juggernaut here, and there are Sonic emitters, but that is going to be a dead Marv here any minute now. However, it is going to cost Bart Jones all of his forces. I'm not sure if the assault in the south was successful whatsoever, but Svensson is capitalizing on this and moving into the north, trying to take even more forces down of Doom Tiger. We actually have some upgrades on a couple of these tanks, a couple of these Scorpions already, so they were able to get a couple kills here and there. However, the Sonic Emitter is going to push them out, but it does not look like the assault is over. It looks like the Dutch Army over here has decided to go full send all of his pit bulls, and finally seen an open to start taking out his opponent, killing a large number of the infrastructure of his opponent, of both of his opponents, of Bart Jones and of Dutch Army, and nothing is really here to stop this. They're just going to lose units left and right. However, structures left and right. However, the damage I think is done. That's a lot of infrastructure loss. That's not for nothing. That's not going to count for nothing. However, all of these pit bulls are going to be taken out. That means that Dutch Army is going to need to transition into something a little bit more. He did lose his Marv, which was extremely unfortunate for him, but he was able to take out a large number of the infrastructure of his opponent, and that amount of damage hasn't been dealt to the right-hand side of the map. We have a lot of man spam here to back up the tanks as they move their way in. I think the Sonic Emitter actually gets sold off. That's going to be extremely unfortunate. That Sonic Emitter will be super helpful against all of these units here. Juggernauts are going to start taking out what they can, start picking out some targets here from long range. However, they are isolated from each other, and they're in actually a really bad spot. If they're not careful, these Predator tanks are actually going to start picking on them and killing them. Svensson really needs to back up his opponent a little bit here, even if it's just with a small amount of forces. Sorry, his ally over here. Sonic Maker is getting taken down by the juggernauts of his opponent, by the juggernauts of Dutch Army. Dutch Army and Svensson finally deciding to work together and coordinate some sort of assault. Man spam moving in, tanks moving in the north. There is a Sonic emitter there for the defense. However, I'm not sure that they're going to be able to stop that. Marv is still going to be a force to be reckoned with. We have a couple of hammerheads here for the defense. The man spam is moving forward. It actually looks like we have a construction yard over here in the center of the map moving forward. It looks like Svensson really wants to get on this part of the map. We do have 2 Sonic emitters out for Dutch Army, waiting for the deployment of that construction yard. We also have a Hand of Nod, and if they're not careful, they're actually going to lose their construction yard here. There goes the construction yard, but I think the damage is done. The build order is here. The Sonic emitters are here, and the assault has begun. However, these juggernauts are absolutely isolated and probably going to get taken out by all of these predators. These predators are going to do a large amount of damage to what's left of the juggernauts. Another juggernaut gets taken down. They need every single juggernaut they can get their hands on. They did manage to make their way inside of their opponent's base and put down a couple of Sonic emitters. This assault, this fight is not over yet. However, it doesn't look like Bart Jones is going to take this line down. He has decided to flip the table and move his pit bulls into the southern expansion, or into the old main base of his opponents. Move into, and there's the ping fort right there. They just started noticing infrastructure starting to get taken down. Watchtower after watchtower getting taken down. And it looks like the assault in the north has finally crumbled. That Marv doing a lot of damage. These hammerheads doing a major assist. And we actually have some stealth tanks over here, I think, by Svensson. Yeah. Things have calmed down in the north, but they definitely have not in the south. Another harvester gets taken down. Bart Jones doing a very good job of capitalizing on that assault over there, and it actually looks like Svensson is not paying attention to his harvesters, and he may lose another pit bull here any moment. But no, they do actually make it out just in time. This fight is going truly back and forward from one to the other. Both sides have done very, very good job of hurting the infrastructure of each other. I think Svensson sort of, I don't know, maybe made a small misplay there when he moved into here. Maybe he should have backed off a little bit. Maybe he wasn't expecting that much damage. I feel like he moved his Marv just a little bit too close for comfort. We do have a Marv here finally supporting these juggernauts. We might get Juggernaut versus Marv. However, here are the the Zone Raiders. Man spam for Dutch Army is here, and he's not done with this assault. He's going to move in, but they are going to lose more and more juggernauts. It's going to be extremely unfortunate. Every single one of those juggernauts is extremely precious to Dutch Army. He needs them to continue his assault. There goes the one click, the orbital strike by the GDI faction. They're able to get a decent amount of damage done, but it may not matter. However, there are mammoth tanks and Marvs and juggernauts here to fight them. They are outnumbered when it comes to Juggernaut, and I believe it looks like, and there is actually the EMP on the Marv. This Marv is in a really bad location. It may actually get taken out. That'll be extremely unfortunate for Dutch Army, or for Bart Jones and the left-hand side of the faction to lose those, but they are not done. They're going to do the exact same thing to their opponent. They're going to get some EMPs out on all of these Juggernauts, out on all of these Marvs. That's extremely unfortunate. The forces for Dutch Army are going to absolutely crumble with that. Marv is going to do its best it can to try to sneak its way out, but I do think it's too little too late. It's in a precarious spot. No, actually, the support here is for Svensson has the support here. He's moved another construction yard forward, another Hand of Nod, and he has decided that this assault is not over. This mayhem is not done. They're going to continue this assault, and whoever wins this is going to take the cake, going to take the round. This is turning out to be absolutely intense for both sides of the map. Small amount of harassment in the south. This Marv has managed to make its way through this entire assault. Svensson is doing a very good job of starting to support his opponent. That's sort of when the tide started to shift just a little bit in their favor, in my opinion, when they started to coordinate. That coordination is going to be extremely important. And we actually have multiple sets of barracks over here on the front line going to be able to support the Marv, going to be able to support all these other units as they move forward. They do notice actually a handful of Sonic emitters. Some of these Sonic emitters are actually from Dutch Army. Dutch Army putting more Sonic emitters on the front map. Another Juggernaut gets taken down by from Bart Jones. Bart Jones just losing forces left and right. Another Marv is building, I believe, over here in the north. That would be super helpful if they can do that. That would be able to they'd be able to rally around that just a little bit. Actually, the Marv for Doom Tiger does have a rank on it. I don't really get to see the T3 units with ranks whatsoever. Svensson moving forward more and more each time, trying to get more and more build radius to push his opponent back further and further. There are several Juggernauts here, and it looks like Svensson was able to grab himself a captured Juggernaut to help in this assault. The Manspan and Marv are moving into the north, and they're going to start harvesting up those resources. Things are looking kind of grim for Dune Tiger and for his partner, for Bart Jones. Not that they're necessarily going to lose here, but they are in a really precarious spot. 2 Marvs versus all of this man spam. It looks like that is going to be the trick to taking out a good chunk of them. A good number of them are going to get taken out. 2 Marvs is a bit hard to deal with, while the Marv of Dutch Army was finally taken out. The Disruption Tower is here, but I think it was too little too late. It looks like this assault has been neutered over on their natural expansion. However, they are still set up on the front door of their opponent, and they still have 4 Juggernauts left to go, which means they're going to be able to continue to deal more and more damage. Marv is going to move his way in. Unfortunately, it's going to move his face right into 2 Sonic Emitters and a handful of Juggernauts, and there goes down another Marv for Bart Jones. Bart Jones, unfortunately, cannot keep a Marv alive. They just keep getting taken out left and right for him. I'm not sure if Dune Tiger lost his Marv or if he just backed it up somewhere. There it is, actually. Speak of the devil. There is that Marv with a rank on. Maybe we'll get to see it get another rank here in a little bit. Single Mammoth Tank moving in to try to take out some of these Juggernauts. I think it's going to get taken out before it does too much damage. It does kill 1. However, all they need to do is grab 1 Engineer and they can pop it back in that Juggernaut, saving themselves just a little bit of money. Looks like the right-hand side team has decided to ping the resources up there, letting know that we need to build more infrastructure and move forward. This assault is great, but it won't matter if we don't do anything about not having resources. Juggernaut's moving up. It does not look like we're going to get another Marv here for Bart Jones as of right now, especially if he gets taken out by the Juggernauts. Hopefully he sees that and does decide to sell it, because there's nothing that, yep, there is a sell-off. He doesn't get a full cash back, but he does get some more money in the bank. We actually have a fully ranked up Predator tank over here by Bart Jones, getting more and more squishes. He's at half HP, but he is an absolute champion with that full upgrade, with that full rank up. There is the sell-off of several of Dune Tiger's watchtowers over there, and they're losing more and more ground on their secondary natural expansion. Stealth tanks do finally get taken out. No, he just survives with just a ladybug's worth of health. He's barely in that game, but he's not quite dead yet. Svensson doing a very good job of picking up that other Juggernaut, making their Juggernaut count go to 3. However, if he's not careful, he's going to get taken out by these grenade squads. I think that they are just auto-firing, because it looks like they are visible. Yeah, they are auto-firing, and if they're doing damage, it's... Yep, they're doing a small amount of damage. Unless they would see that. There is another 1-click right there trying to take out some of the man spam. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to really anything over here on this push. There is a Sonic Emitter, however, that's going to be able to do a good chunk of damage to the Juggernaut forces of Svensson of Dutch Army. Another assault is continuing the south by Bart Jones, but it doesn't possess the power, doesn't possess the punch that they need in order to take that out. This ranked up Marv is moving its way in another precarious position, and I think it's actually getting some shots on its rear armor, which is going to be extremely unfortunate. It's down to less than half HP. If he's not careful, he might actually lose it. Those Sonic Emitters are doing a lot of damage. He is going to manage to make it out with his Zocom Orcas, doing a very good job of killing those units moving forward. There is a small bombing of the corpse of another Juggernaut. They need every single one of those Juggernauts they can get their hands on. Engineers are starting to move in to Juggernauts left and right, doing the best that they can. Hammerhead getting some scouting out. However, it looks like Dutch Army does put down some anti-air in order to fight that. That's going to be very good, because he already knows that the Zocoms have these Orcas that are just going to be absolute pests, and they're going to try to harass them as best they can. However, that AA is going to come in clutch for them in that defense. Bart Jones continuing his assault over on the south with small forces here and there, just trying to poke his way through. It looks like we got a couple more stealth tanks over here by Svensson. Svensson doing a very good job of picking off a orbital command for Bart Jones. It looks like Dune Tiger and Bart Jones are still just absolutely on the defense. However, they are not out of this fight whatsoever. Every time that these guys, every time that Svensson and Dutch Army make a move forward, it looks like there's always an encounter moving to counter them, obviously. Another assault continuing for Bart Jones. Bart Jones being a turd with this Hammerhead, just going to start dealing some minor damage, maybe to distract his opponent, maybe to annoy his opponent. We're not sure quite yet. No more Juggernauts. I say that, and there is one Juggernaut finally. That'll be really great if they can take out that Sonic Emitter by Dune Tiger. And actually, I missed a little bit of assault here. There's a handful of infantry and units that move forward into their base. I guess I missed that entirely. Doom Tiger was absolutely on top of it, taking them out as soon as they spawn. And there is the sell-off of the T3 for Dutch Army. I think that might have been a little bit premature. It's still half HP, but maybe he's just not able to support that in the defense. Maybe he just wants to push out more and more of these Juggernauts. Speaking of, 2 Juggernauts do finally get taken down, or at least their husks are taken down as they move forward. More of these Zocom Orcas are going to kill another Juggernaut and actually make it out in time. However, Svensson is there right on cue to grab more of the Juggernauts and move them forward with engineers. This one heroic Predator tank is just making its way inside of his opponent's base. However, the answer to that does seem to be one Sonic Emitter. You may be heroic, but you're going to have a hard time killing a Sonic Emitter. And there it goes. No, actually, wait. There it goes. There is the death of that final Predator tank. The force is looking extremely anemic, almost non-existent over here. It looks like mass sell-off happened over on this side of the map. Doom Tiger's defenses were just too much to deal with, and they're going to lose what's left of their forward operation base here. Zocom Orcas relatively uncontested as they move their way into their opponent's base, looking for some kills. I take it back. There is the Firehawk to take out a couple of them. However, there are still 3 alive as they take out 1 harvester filled with Tiberium. Actually, 2 harvesters filled with Tiberium, and almost a 3rd one. So, Stealthig is going to move forward and try and take out the Orcas, but he only manages to get 2. Sorry, you'll have to excuse me there. Still recovering the voice from that, and I didn't expect this game to be so intense right off the bat. We do have a good number of Firehawks to combat all of the Zocom forces, at least combat the air forces of their opponents. That's going to be a good call unless he's going to use them to get some bombs off. And actually, yeah, that is the case. The Firehawks are going to get a good shot on the refinery. That's going to hurt the infrastructure even more of their opponent. Stealthigs are going to move in and actually get another harvester. They're truly going tit for tat here when it comes to harvesters, when it comes to everything else, and when it comes to losing all of this infrastructure. I believe what we have here is Firehawk versus Firehawk as the Firehawks for their opponents begin to move their way in, and if they're not careful, they're actually going to lose one. Nope, he just barely manages to make it out. Both sides have extremely anemic forces right now. Everybody has got to be hurting on their resources. We do actually have a level 2 Marv. Maybe we'll even get to see a heroic Marv here in a bit. That would be extremely exciting. I don't think I've ever seen a heroic Marv, but a double rank up Marv is already pretty impressive. Another Firehawk is going to get taken out almost relatively for free by these Pitbulls. Doing a very good job on that. We do have a couple more forces of Dutch Army. Dutch Army switching to a whole bunch of APCs and a small amount of band spam. Svensson doing a good job of going into the blue Tiberium, pinging that it is up and ready to go. That'll be an extremely nice lifeline for them. Every little bit of resources they can get will be super great. If they're not careful, though, they may actually lose these units. All of the forces of Doom Tiger here are moving into the center of the map to go ahead and protect that. They're even putting down a handful of things. It looks like I don't think they want to tangle with this fight just yet. They were able to grab, I think, 2 loads of blue Tiberium, which is going to be great for them, and it's also going to limit what their opponents can get. It does actually look like the left-hand side team did lose 1 harvester, unfortunately, going for that blue Tiberium. They were the only one to take losses when it comes to harvesters on that. That's going to be extremely unfortunate. Every harvester, all the little bits of resources are really important. And it looks like we actually, I believe, Svensson was able to sneak in a... oh, it's a shadow team. I thought he snuck in an engineer, but he snuck in a shadow team taking out a small amount of damage. I don't normally get to see shadow teams this late in the game, so it is nice to see that. However, if Svensson is not careful, he may lose his base here. He may lose his final base here because the main forces for Doom Tiger are finally starting to move forward and poke and prod and see what they can start to chew on. While the forces, while he's actually moving his Pitbulls over there in the south. This assault's going to get neutered pretty quickly over here as the stealth tanks move forward. There's not an answer to the stealth tank. Marv is going to move forward, and the Juggernaut is going to start taking out more and more of the infrastructure of his opponent, and it looks like the Redeemer is just not going to get out in time. The Juggernauts just did way too much damage, followed up by the one click. It was just too little, too late. This Marv is going to get caught once again, but he did not die the last time he got caught, and he has significantly more HP. And on top of that, there are a large number of Pitbulls moving their way in to start taking out the stealth tanks and start helping out their opponents. Things are looking good for the right-hand side of the faction. Dune Tiger just doing an amazing job holding on, holding the line, holding the forces back, while Bart Jones continues to do small amounts of harassments. I think this is finally going to be the fall of the right-hand side of the faction. Their forces are beyond anemic. They just don't have much left. However, they do have a good number of sonic emitters and a couple other things. They can potentially turn it around, but it is going to be a long shot if they can. More and more APCs of Dutch Army have been taken, or not Dutch Army, of Dune Tiger have been taken out. That's going to be unfortunate for them. Harvesters are going to be killed here if he's paying attention right there. There goes at least one Harvester. Nope, come on, there you go. He does finally take out a Harvester there, 2 Harvesters there. No, he actually, that second Harvester actually manages to get manages to get its way out. Words are hard. Bart Jones continuing his assault in the south, continuing to poke and prod. However, Svensson has done a very good job of pushing off the forces of Dune Tiger, doing a very good job of pushing all that off. I'm not sure they have too much left in them. They're not giving up, that is for sure, but this is still a large number of forces to deal with, and it looks like the tables have turned. The Marvs have moved into their base, and there is the GG from Simpson, followed by a GG from Dutch Army. They see the writing on the wall. They see that they have lost this one. They lost too many forces early on in the game, and they lost too many forces in that large assault, and the tables were absolutely flipped on them. That fight could have gone either way. I will see you in round number 2, Commander. Welcome back, Commander, to round 2, match 2 between Dune Tiger and Bart Jones versus Svensson and Dutch Army. This clash is brought to you by the Recycled Dad Joke Foundation, finding puns that make groans for generations. Over in our bottom right-hand corner, we have Dune Tiger in the orange, and our yellow is going to be Bart Jones. Their respective factions this time around are going to be Skren and Reaper 17, and the red and pink are still going to be Svensson and Dutch Army. Svensson in the pink, Dutch Army in the reds. And it looks like their factions are both GDI. They've decided to go mirror GDI. Whether it is random or not, I am not sure. I didn't look. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Here's the game. Scouting has begun for both factions. A good number of these buzzers are going to get taken out before they can really do anything. Svensson doing a very good job of killing them before they get close. The rifleman squads do have the advantage if they catch the buzzer squads unaware, but the buzzer squads, as soon as they get close, that goes from an advantage to them just getting absolutely nuked. Extremely minor in the grand scheme of things, but getting this scouting off will be important. I don't think they know what their opponents are playing just yet. They probably figure, obviously, some sort of Skren faction because of, all of the buzzers. And I don't believe there is a way to tell who is what just yet. Although I guess the shielded harvesters are probably a dead giveaway for Bart Jones's Reaper 17 faction. If I remember correctly, they have a lot more shielded units than their respective other factions. You get a pillbox over here by Dutch Army, setting itself up inside of the Skren's base, deciding to be annoying. And it looks like we've started our first set of expansions. For those who don't know, the player up here will always go towards this one, and the player down here will go towards this dog-bound kind of dual Tiberium field thing that's here. And same for over here on the bottom, just reversed. There is a small amount of growing Tiberium for both players to grab sort of later in the game if they need it. No blue Tiberium, and I think just one Tiberium spike per player, I think is the shtick for that. First Gunwalker is out for the bottom right-hand faction. And it actually looks like we're getting a little bit of a seeker. I hesitate to call it rush, but a little bit of a seeker push for Bart Jones. Bart Jones doing a very good job of stopping the harvesting of his opponent of Svensson, pushing all of those harvesters out. While he may not be able to get a kill necessarily, he's definitely going to try for it, but this whole time those harvesters are not going to be able to harvest. There is the answer. There is one Predator tank, but I think it might be too little too late. I think one harvester is still going to get taken down. Yep, Bart Jones doing a very, very good job not losing any units, getting really close to, but there are the pit bulls right there. Bart Jones is probably going to lose a couple more units here in this fight, but he is doing a fighting retreat and doing a very good job. Dutch Army does try to make an assault over there in the south, but it looks like Dune Tiger is on top of it on the defense. Again, that does appear to be Bart Jones's and Dune Tiger's strategy for the most part. Dune Tiger seems to take most of the brunt and freeing up Bart Jones to have a bunch of time to begin his assault in other directions. One Seeker tank does unfortunately get caught in a really unfortunate position for Dune Tiger. That's not going to end the game for him, but that is going to suck. Losing even just one of those units can have a bit of an impact. Svensson is not going to take this lying down, though. He is moving forward. He's using his rifleman squads to start a scout so he can see these descents coming. However, if these descents get too close to the Predator tanks, they're going to absolutely wreck them. But there is a little bit of rifleman squads in order to deal with them, and the assault continues for them over there. Looks like the forces for Bart Jones did finally get caught out by a whole bunch of these APCs while the assault is continuing over Vice Svensson over here, starting to take out the portal, and hopefully he notices these disintegrators before they get just too close. They can do a lot of damage to the Predators if they're not careful. One does finally get taken out, one descent that is, does finally get taken out, as well as the portal. Losing that portal early on is going to bite just a little bit. Dutch Army catching the sneakiness of Dune Tiger over there in the south. There is a sort of a strip that goes over here that people try to sneak units through all the time. I think it's an interesting idea. I'm not sure I've seen it work too terribly for them. Things aren't looking super great for Bart Jones. Bart Jones is being pressured pretty heavily by Svensson. Svensson has a lot of forces on his front door, and the same can be said for Dutch Army on the front door of Dune Tiger. This is a lot of gun walkers to start fighting all of this, and that's going to be good for these APCs, but I think they are outnumbered right now. They do have defender's advantage, but more and more reinforcements by Dutch Army just continue to apply and move forward faster and faster in this game. And if they're not careful, if Dune Tiger's not careful, he's going to lose an APC. There is the one click, the stasis field out for his opponent, out for Dune Tiger. Dune Tiger doing a very good job of catching a whole bunch of those APCs, and it looks like they are dead for the most part. I'm not sure he can get them out, especially with their tripods here as the reinforcements. Forces for Svensson continue to build up more and more, while looks like Dutch Army is starting to lose APCs and Predators left and right. One click on the Harvesters absolutely saving them and saving him just a little bit more resources and avoiding some of that time loss. Forces for Bart Jones are looking a little anemic, especially compared to Svensson. Svensson, however, is probably going to try to push into his opponent's base here. Hopefully, Dutch Army will be able to support him, but this is a good chunk of tripods. 2 tripods can do a lot of damage, especially if they have support. The important part, though, is that Bart Jones has more time to build up his forces. He lost that portal. He lost a couple of items here and there, and that's going to slow him down a little bit. He does finally have some tripods out here, and it looks like we're getting a whole bunch more of the lower tier units. And actually, I missed an air assault over here onto Dutch Army's base. I did not see that airfield whatsoever. Maybe I walked right past it. We are going to get a Reclamator hub, not a Reclamator, words are hard. An Eradicator Hexapod here soon for Dutch Army, or for Dune Tiger. Air forces continuing to be uncontested in the south. Bart Jones doing a good job of picking off what he can, where he can. I still don't know where his airfield is that he produced that. Maybe he sold it off as soon as he got those units out. I know the Storm Riders aren't particularly the greatest when it comes to really just anything, but they are fast and annoying. Maybe that is their purpose. We're getting a little bit of assault over here. One of the mana tanks gets caught out in an unfortunate position for them. 2 of the gunwalkers of Bart Jones are going to get taken out just as quickly, and I'm not sure he can afford to take that fight whatsoever. This is a lot of forces from the left-hand side moving forward. Looks like a little bit more of a skirmish has begun. I think that he was expecting Bart Jones to move forward with those forces, and they were trying to pinch Svensson's forces here, but Svensson backed up just in time in order to save them. A couple of his units have started to take a good chunk of damage, that may be the difference made whatsoever. I think we actually got a blink on a Eradicator Hexapod. I'm just not sure where he got blinked. There he is. He's actually moving into the old, the new natural expansion for Dutch Army. Having that Eradicator Hexapod inside his base is going to be extremely unfortunate. Every kill that he gets with this Eradicator Hexapod is going to give him a little bit more resources. He's about to lose a harvester full of blue Tiberium if he's not careful, or sorry, regular Tiberium if he's not careful. And there it is. There goes that one. Is absolutely taken out. This Eradicator Hexapod is met by a Marv and is starting to end up in a precarious location. Hopefully it can get a blink out, but he was able to do a good chunk of damage to his opponent. Svensson moving his assault forward and actually getting a really good EMP on the Eradicator Hexapod over here. This Eradicator Hexapod is absolutely exposed. There is a one-click over here stopping some of the forces of Svensson, but this is extremely, extremely unfortunate. There is another one-click to try to save that Eradicator Hexapod. Bart Jones is just trying to hang on just as hard as he can, but he is getting assaulted left and right. I think that Eradicator Hexapod inside of Dutch Army's base did finally make its way out, but Svensson is doing an amazing job pushing back Bart Jones, doing very, very good at pressuring him over and over and over. If he's not careful, though, Dune Tiger is going to come here for the defense, is going to move his way into his opponent's base while they are preoccupied here. More and more EMPs get hit on this Eradicator Hexapod, but this one click is still here and is able to save it for a little bit, but not long enough. There it goes. It finally gets taken down. Bart Jones' forces have been neutered. Once again, losing that Eradicator Hexapod is going to hurt. We're getting a little bit of a back and forward between Dune Tiger and Dutch Army over in the south. Neither one seems to have really claimed a victory, to where Svensson is literally on the front doorstep of Bart Jones. Bart Jones needs some sort of answer. I'm not sure now is the time to move forward for Dune Tiger, but maybe they know something I do not. Pretty soon here, the forces of Bart Jones are going to be all but wiped out. There's a whole bunch of EMPs. There's going to be a whole bunch of dead tripod. Tripod after tripod is going to get taken out by these mana tanks. These mana tanks are just becoming absolutely unstoppable. A Reaper Tripod is moving its way up to start poking at his opponent, and a good chunk of these Mammoth tanks do seem to be hurt, but there are still a large number of them left. Eradicator Hexapod with a whole bunch of Corruptors moving its way into Dutch Army's base. Maybe they're trying to go for a base race here, but I think that Dune Tiger is going to be a little bit behind on that adventure. Maybe he's just trying to knock out the other opponent before he has to deal with Svensson, because Bart Jones is all but out of this fight. If Dune Tiger's not careful, he's going to end up in a 1v2 against two strong opponents. Assault still going very well for Svensson in the north, and very bad for Bart Jones. Bart Jones is just not looking super great. Bart Jones is trying to regroup what he can back in his original main base and hopefully build some sort of defense. Actually, we have a lot of shock troopers over here by, looks like Dune Tiger. Dune Tiger's assault is still continuing over here in the southern, over on the left-hand side of the map, and these Corruptors, while hurt, are still doing a very, very good job. There is the fire cell, there is the ending of that natural expansion by Bart Jones. Bart Jones only has his old main base left right now, and Svensson is knocking on his front doorstep. However, the same is happening with the forces over here in the bottom left-hand corner. Dune Tiger doing a really good job of taking out Dutch Army, hopefully buying himself some time. If he can take that out and move forward, he might be able to do a significant amount of damage. However, he may end up spending a bunch of resources and lose his base here in a minute. He's not going to take this line down, though. There is a one-click taking 2-3 of the Mammoth tanks out of commission for the moment, while they do what damage they can. It looks like 2 Mammoth tanks were able to get taken out, but it's not sure it's going to matter too much as of right now. More and more Gunwalkers are starting to move its way forward. Dutch Army is not completely taken out, but he is pretty close to dead. It's pretty much Svensson versus Dune Tiger in this fight. Dune Tiger moving his way back to get ready to defense for his base. That seems to be the strategy. Actually getting a little bit of reinforcements over here by Dutch Army, moving his way and maybe spending some of those resources since he lost a good chunk of his infrastructure. And I don't think he can do too much other than just one click. So yeah, that does appear to be the case. That's all he's really got left. once he uses these units here, that's really all gonna be that everything that he has for the most part, from what I can tell. Now, actually, he does have some forces over here. He has an armory and he has some man spam he can start putting down. It looks like this is going to probably be our final assault. At least it's going to be our most pivotal assault over here between Svensson and Dune Tiger. Can Dune Tiger hold on to this defense? He does appear to be in a good position, but he does keep getting EMP'd left and right. Corruptors are doing an amazing amount of healing, keeping that Eradicator Hexapod still alive while more and more forces move forward. It's also sucking up a lot of damage and getting itself more and more resources with every kill that it possibly can. I think the favor right now is actually in Dune Tiger's court right now. He has this defender's advantage. However, Svensson has moved his MCV into his base, but I'm not sure it's going to matter. He may just end up losing that here right now. Dune Tiger just being absolutely amazing on the defense. This Eradicator Hexapod just refusing to die. More and more Corruptors are going to get EMP'd and taken out, which is going to be extremely unfortunate for them. But this assault continues. I think this could still go either way, but my guess is going to be that Doom Tiger holds on his defense. His defense has been very, very good throughout these fights with these particular opponents, and it looks like the assault has been all but neutered. Svensson has lost Mammoth Tank after Mammoth Tank and lost all these units, and pretty soon here he's going to lose a construction yard, and every unit that he loses is going to give more and more points to the Eradicator Hexapod, more and more resources to Dune Tiger. Dune Tiger has fought off the assault by Svensson, and it is pretty much Svensson. It is a 1v2, but Dutch Army is not really in the game. I guess he's got man spam. That's not nothing, and he's starting to do some upgrades. If he doesn't already have, no, maybe not. I thought he did some upgrades earlier. It looks like he's focusing just on man spam. That's probably not a bad idea. Getting some meat shields in order to support Svensson will be really, really good for the team on the left-hand side of the map. It looks like Bart Jones is not actually completely out of this fight. I thought he was out. He's got a couple of these Storm Raiders left. The forces for Dune Tiger have built up rather quite nicely over here. Oh, so he does actually have a gravity stabilizer. He does have an airfield. Bart Jones, that is. Eradicator Hexapod going to move into his opponent's space, going to see this Sonic Emitter. That Sonic Emitter is going to be one of his biggest threats. If he can take it out, there's actually the sell-off of it, and it looks like we're going to get another assault on top of Svensson's base. Dune Tiger flipping the script and now moving into Svensson, starting to take out more and more infrastructure. One click does happen right there for one of the tripods as Dune Tiger moves his way back up just a little bit. I feel like he could win that fight there. I feel like he was in a good position, but then again, we don't have Fog of War on our side of the screen, so that is easy to say because we can see what Dune Tiger has and what he does not. Or sorry, Svensson, what Svensson has and what he does not. Good chunk of these Mammoth Tanks are still here, but they are taking damage left and right. More grenade squads moving their way forward, probably trying to get some EMPs on these Corruptors. There it is. There goes all of the Corruptors all at once. All of them are EMP'd, which means there's no healing on this Eradicator Hexapod, forcing Dune Tiger to move up his tripods, starting to do as much damage as they can. They do manage to get one of the Mammoth Tanks and damage another one. The Corruptors are no longer EMP'd, so they're in a good spot. However, they need to back their way up just slightly so they don't get caught in the position right now, because they are in sort of an unfortunate spot for them right now. Have a whole bunch of Buzzer Hives, I'm guessing, to protect what is left of Bart Jones's base. I guess base is probably a real liberal way of putting that, and actually more of the what's left of yep, no, these Storm Riders are just absolutely taking out the forces of both the left-hand side of the faction. Just get absolutely destroyed, and it looks like that's going to be the final nail in the coffin. Dune Tiger was able to hold the defense, and Bart Jones was just able to hang on just barely and save those air units to start pestering his opponent's Harvester. That is going to give 2 points to Dune Tiger and Bart Jones, winning this sort of mixed bag replay that I was sent. Thank you, Dune Tiger, for sending in these submissions. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next one, Commander. Transmission out.